Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Knicks Community Podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Aiden Donahue, and today I just wanted to share with you all about my thoughts on the Knicks versus Nuggets game, where we lost, I believe it was 114 to 89. I will be fact checking that currently at the moment. Yeah, it was 114 to 89. And I think that this game showed that we really just need a scorer. And it just shows you how much we need guys like Alec Burks back on this team. I think that the biggest thing that we need to improve on is ball movement and just being aggressive and just trying to take more high percentage shots and shooting is a huge thing that we need to work on. Yeah, I was just on the Die Hard Knicks podcast halftime show. Shout out to Eru. And I basically just said, listen, I think the Knicks should watch film of teams like the San Antonio Spurs back when they were just really fluid in their ball movement, especially back in about 2013. That was the year where I believe they played the Miami Heat. And I think that they need to look at film from that type of team because their ball movement is executed beautifully. And that ball movement translates to easy buckets and high percentage shots as well, which shows you that that type of play led them to the finals. Yes, they lost, but still it led them to a finals appearance. And I feel like the Knicks really just need to look at film from those type of teams because if we do that and then try to utilize that style of play, I truly believe that it will work out for us in the long run because we will be better as a team. We will be better at finding the open man. We will be better at getting higher percentage shots. And, you know, the open man leads to easy buckets. And I truly believe that is something that we really need to work on. Now, tonight we really struggled with scoring. And I believe that we really just need a really just consistent scorer. You have Julius Randle. Julius Randle's been very good this year. And I believe that if the All-Star game was not canceled, I think he's on track to be a future All-Star in this league based off of the way that he's been playing this season. He's been extremely consistent. Believe me, I would know. I'm in fantasy leagues and I see his points go up and up and increase every single game because of the way that he is playing. And we've seen that with guys like Elfrid Payton, and RJ Barrett's had some bursts of light and some pretty inconsistent negative games. And I said this on State of the New York Knicks podcast as well. It's really exciting as a Knicks fan to see players have great games and also have really bad games. And I think it's really interesting because you get to see the journey that these guys are taking in their careers. You see guys like RJ Barrett, you saw the high that he had at the end of the preseason. You saw him struggle definitely in the beginning of this regular season. Same with Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle. And you're also seeing that now with Emmanuel Quickley. And it's just really exciting to see because, years from now, depending on where they end up in their careers, if they're, all-stars and really good in this league, you're going to be there and say, oh, yeah, I was there when this player was really struggling, early on in his career. And I think as a Knicks fan, it's really exciting to see these players and the journey that they take game by game. And I believe that, back on the Julius Randle subject, I think that we just really need an aggressive, consistent scorer. And we've seen Emmanuel Quickley definitely have bursts of light. As I said before, we've seen him really just go out there and lead this offense. And I said this on a previous podcast. My podcast, the Knicks Community Podcast, has mainly been audio-based. But I think now I'm starting this YouTube channel, and I really just want to distribute my podcast to everywhere and anywhere that I can, because I believe that my show, we really discuss, positivity, and positive things that we can get out of situations. I'm not going to avoid the negative things. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows and the Knicks are going to win a championship this year. That's obviously not what I'm going to do. As you've seen this episode, I'm going to discuss the negatives and positive things that I can see coming out of these negative situations, which I'll get into more on in this episode. And I feel like, back to Emmanuel quickly, we've seen him really lead this offense. And I said it before, you see a switch. You see a switch in tempo, you see a switch in energy, and you see a switch in excitement. And I feel like now, especially from tonight, we haven't seen that. And we're really only seeing guys like Julius Randle really just go out there and just try to score. And I feel like we've seen bursts of light from Austin Rivers. We saw him get 14 consecutive points in the fourth last game, or two games ago. Um, you've seen RJ go off. You've seen Elfrid Payton go off at times. I feel like you've kind of seen everybody on this team go off at certain times. But the one guy that's been really consistent this whole season so far with scoring and distributing is Julius Randle. And I believe that we need another guy that's playing at the level that Julius Randle is playing. Whether that's Emmanuel Quickly, whether that's Austin Rivers, whether that's going to be Obi Toppin when he comes back, whether that's going to be Alec Burks when he comes back, I have no idea. But I believe that we really need to utilize another scorer on this team because it's going to be better for the Knicks overall. We're going to get more buckets. We're going to get consistent scoring from Julius Randle and whoever the other consistent scorer is going to be on this team. And I feel like we really just need to take charge and be aggressive. I saw a lot this game where there were times where, this is going to circle right back to the ball movement, where guys are just swiveling the ball in a circle basically, and they're moving a little bit and just they it's kind of like hot potato. They're just passing it around and nothing's happening. And this season you're seeing Julius Randle get the ball. He does the same move. He goes to basically the free throw line and does like a fadeaway jump shot, right? And in my mind, Julius Randle is thinking, okay, I need to be a scorer for this team and I need to lead this offense in order to create easy buckets so we can win games. And I feel like we need another player with that same mindset. And, like I said before, we've seen Emmanuel Quickly do it. We've seen Austin Rivers do it. We've seen RJ Barrett do it. We've seen Elfrid Payton do it. But we just need a guy to do it on a consistent basis like Julius Randle's been doing. And, with ball movement, we saw at the end of the preseason and some moments in this regular season where, when the offense was led by Emmanuel Quickly, we saw the ball movement just increase. And, I think we've seen that a lot over the course of this season. A lot of times guys are, especially we could see this with Julius Randle, where guys would be driving into the paint. Julius Randle and everybody's first instinct, I mean, obviously is to score, but their second instinct is just to see who's open. And really just kind of, I guess, really just kind of utilize their vision, their court vision, just to see who's open. And, you've seen a lot of times where Julius Randle just kind of heaves a pass just to try to find the open man. And, we really need to utilize ball movement because it's going to be one of the major important keys of success to winning basketball games. We've seen this outcome of winning happen because of ball movement and scoring. We've seen it against the Cavs at the end of the preseason. We saw it against the Utah Jazz when Austin Rivers lit up during the fourth and got 14 straight consecutive points. And tonight, a big thing that I really want us to resolve is defense. I saw so many times where Nikola Jokic or guys would just drive into the paint and get easy points in the paint. I remember a statistic that they showed in the first. I think it had the Denver Nuggets with like 26 points in the paint and the Knicks with only 4. And that cannot happen on a consistent basis. We need our defense to be heightened. And I don't understand how we haven't really worked on that, Um, against the Thunder last game, Julius Randle and everybody was saying, we're just gonna nip this in the butt and we're just gonna keep going and it'll be better, I promise. And you see guys like Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, who at one point I saw get a rebound over Mitchell Robinson. That's insane. It should not be happening. Anyways, those are really just the points of or areas of improvement that I feel we just need to get straightened up and we just need to work on. Whether that's going to be in future practices over the course of the year, we shall see. So just to wrap this up, the main areas that I want us to see straighten up and resolve are ball movement, consistent scoring from somebody else that isn't Julius Randle. Like I said before, whether that's Emmanuel Quickly, RJ, Austin Rivers, Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, you name it. It could be Ignas Brazdeikis for all I care. Just somebody, please be a consistent scorer that will contribute to this offense like Julius Randle has been doing. So ball movement's a key factor that I want us to really just get better at. Vision, and just finding the open man and scoring and defense in the paint as well, because you can't have teams destroy us in the paint like Denver did tonight. So those are just some of the areas of improvement that I really want to see get fixed. And I think I'm going to make another episode tomorrow after the Hornets game. And this has been Aiden Donahue. This has been the Knicks Community Podcast. It's really just going to be videos like this. I'm definitely going to be bringing on guests like Eru from the Die Hard Knicks podcast and anybody else that I can get. And the link will be in the description below. I will be plugging the link to my audio podcast, which these episodes will end up getting distributed on. So in case you didn't have time to watch this, you can listen to it. If you guys don't really know that much about me and my audio podcast, I've had guests like Chris Childs. I've had guests like Allen Houston, Chris Copeland, and I'm going to get a ton of former Knicks hopefully on my show soon. But if you guys want to hear inside stories, if you guys want to hear what these former Knicks are thinking about in terms of ways to help the Knicks become what they once were, please check out my audio podcast. It's going to be the link will be in the description. It's going to be the link to Anchor, which is where I really make my podcast on the audio side of things. But I will be distributing the audio of these episodes onto Anchor, onto Spotify. There's a little ticker below here that's going to be scrolling throughout every single episode. And if you guys have any questions for me, you guys can leave it in the comment section of these YouTube videos. And just like the ticker said, you can message me on Instagram and Twitter at Knicks Community for any topics that you want me to discuss or just any questions that you have that you would like me to address on future episodes. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.